This is John Madden, How to Be Happy, and principle 5 is move, change your environment, adjust your life, take charge of your location in the world. And it could be as simple as I was describing how the dogs in there move around from one place to another. If you have dogs, you'll notice they'll get up and move 3 feet and get back down. Something in them said this is a nicer place to be right now. Well, if you listen to yourself, that'll work for you too. It will. I have been broken down here in El Diamante for 3 months because my car stalled a couple miles north of here, and it's turned out to be very big work. So I haven't had a chance to move my van because adjusting my lie in the van might mean going to a different city or a different state or a different country. I'm in Mexico now. Or if the trucks have gotten too loud in the parking lot where I am, I might have to move 50 yards or 100 yards. I was in a campground where one campsite was hot and stifling outside of Louisville, Kentucky. And if I moved 50 yards, there was a breeze there. And it was all different. I left my apartment in Asheville, North Carolina, and went to the mountains. Pretty dramatic. You don't have to do anything that big. But honestly, travel, I really recommend it. Because otherwise, you may think that the little place where you're living, I lived in Asheville, North Carolina for 16 years and thought it was the world. Thought it was the best place to live in the world. And it almost doesn't make sense to compare which is better or best. But other places were really different. I just went up to Appalachia, an hour north, and it was so different. And I discovered it was completely different than I thought it was. And I went to New Orleans and said, wow, in Asheville, they said I was so Asheville, you fit here so much. No, I'm much more New Orleans. The black culture really fit me. But I've known for a long time that I wanted to be in Mexico, and that was pretty dramatic. And I have moved pretty literally heaven and earth to get here. And I've been here almost 6 months now, and I'm so happy. So happy. There's a kind of a superficial, simplistic psychology maxim, geographic fix. Changing the geography is not going to change your internal. And if you're running away, I tried to go to Mexico 10 years ago, and at that point I was running away, and it wasn't the right thing to do, and it fell apart. But now it was the right time, and it's changed everything for me. But it may mean walking down the sunny side of the street. One of the greatest affirmations I ever got from my ex, who I didn't get a lot of good ones from, and this was after we broke up, which was pretty acrimonious. But she said a few months later, it was a cold winter's day in Syracuse, New York, and she said she realized she was walking on the shady, cold side of the street when the other side of the street was sunny. And she said, I said to myself, John never would have done that. He'd be on that sunny side. Wow. For her to acknowledge that, she knew that I, even back then, was responsive to, well, what's going to make this situation a little better? Take charge. One of the great dialectics is listening to spirit, surrendering to spirit, and then actually doing something. Get off your butt and do something. And oftentimes spirit will say, move, do this, go there, change something, get out of your comfort zone. People stifle, people die, psychically die from staying in their comfort zones. And it's so human, so human. We hate discomfort. It's kind of fun to say now that I almost don't have a comfort zone after traveling 3 years in a camper van. It's not literally true, but I have just defied discomfort. Living in a tiny, tiny, tiny little house, 100 square foot van. Most people would not put up with it, but the level of freedom has been It's remade me. It's so liberating. So don't do it frantically. Don't do it thrashing around. Get quiet. Listen to the voice for spirit. And if you listen well, it'll say, hey, go over there. Or don't hang out with this person anymore. Or you really don't like winters in cold climates. Go to a warm climate, at least for the winter. Do it. Do it. Take the risk. Find out that the world is different in different places, and you are different in different places. Yeah. Good. Thanks.